Hello and welcome to week 6 of the VRML Onward League with your host Radarhead and my co-host tonight, Theta.
Hey everybody.
Is it Theta or Theta?
Technically it's Theta. But
Theta.
You can call me whatever you want, Radar.
Theta, everyone. So we got VR Loyal Dogs versus the Newbies. Two EU teams. Lower bracket, so bronze teams, I believe, but still both incredibly adequate teams, both improving continuously. I can't believe I just said they were adequate. They're awesome teams. I've scrimped against both of them, and they always put up a great fight. And wow, we're going straight into round 1 almost immediately, so that's caught me off guard. So round 1 is bizarre.
We'll have to cover the bans subsequently, but I guess they just felt spicy and wanted to get right into it. I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either. So they've banned Cargo and something else. I don't remember what the second ban was, but we can
Suburbia.
see. Oh, Suburbia. All right. So they banned the smaller maps.
Indeed.
So Loyal Dogs, a Spanish team. The Newbies, predominantly a English team. Older gents, but some would say more experienced because of it.
It looks like okay. So we've got a 2-person split in the top, and then they're sending 2 in the bottom. So basically a 2-1 split so far for Marsoc. And the Newbies have kind of an interesting defense here. They've got one far north, one far south around the objective.
So I'd say that's a fairly standard setup, apart from Andy Bud, who's in a very interesting position as he's going to be facing off against Haikine and Oxers. Great names to try and pronounce.
Yeah, I think it was more that far south position you pointed out that kind of threw me off there, but you're right, that is a fairly standard pattern of the rest of it. But it looks like, yeah, Oxers and Andy Bud are just around the corner from each other now.
I love Andy Bud's position. It's actually a classic position, Andy Bud's position. It's one I haven't seen taken for a long time, but it's very effective. Meanwhile, in the center of the map, you can see that slowly VR Loyal Dogs are pushing up through the center of the map.
Ooh, Oxers and Andy Bud right next to each other now.
I'm going to give this one to Andy Bud. I think Andy Bud's going to take this away. Unless Oxers can get an angle on him from behind the wall, which I just don't see happening.
Yeah, Oxers is looking through. Oh, he was about to poke his head through
it's going to be Haikine!
So close.
Oh, who's going to be the first one to die, and will the second one... Oh no, if they cross at the same time! No!
Oh!
Andy Bud takes them both down as the perfect timing happens for him. Wow. Good pickups from Andy Bud there as the first 2 kills of the entire set. Kicked off by the Team Newbies versus VR Loyal Dogs. Hola, amigos. Because they're a Spanish team, I felt like throwing that in there.
Indeed. Me gusta. So, let's see. Jason's kind of running around here, and the laser was just on him from mid-market, so I would assume the Loyal Dogs now know there's somebody floating around in that spot. Let's see what kind of push they try to put together here.
So, interesting again, we got Wake in the north, who in a hard-to-spot position, but he's got no cover at all. If VR Loyal Dogs are to push north, they might be able to get an easy pickup on Wake. Meanwhile, the rest of Team Newbies holding it strong, holding it tight. Andy Bud still holding his position, keeping eyes on the middle road. He might pick up I'm Donnie at this rate. 1 minute 50 left on the clock. I'm Donnie. Still in a key position to attack from, but he still needs to make that cross without getting picked up by Andy Bud. Quite a tight angle Andy Bud has to hold.
And Newbies, or however you pronounce that name, just threw a frag right on top of Mr. Body, but did not get him. There's unfortunate hitboxes there, but now they are aware there's somebody approaching from the north, and Wake may very well pick him up if he rotates his muzzle here.
So Wake has seen, I'm Donnie picks up Andy Bud as I cut away, of course.
Yeah, Wake has his lasers right on Nyman's position here. He is looking at his tablet, though. If he pushes
Nomad
out,
runs out,
caught.
takes fire on Wake, takes out Wake. The Wake
That was a
position,
nice push.
initially quite good. I'm Donnie. But what? I thought I'm Donnie was down. Did he get rezzed? Gary. Oh, Gary takes out Mr. Body. Cap's open. Jason's coming around now to stop the cap. It's a trade. Team Newbies. Oh, wow, what? Again, I can't add it out, I'm Donnie, because I thought he was down. I must have missed something pivotal then. I thought Andy Bud took him down, so I guess that's on me. But either way, way closer than I thought, and Team Newbies defense holding, even though I thought they'd already won.
Indeed. Yeah, that came down to the wire, just a 1v1 at the very end there. But I think the critical moment was that Andy Bud 2-kill at the very beginning. I mean, you lose 2 people that early in the round, it's going to be a challenge to come back from that. And, I mean, to their credit, the Loyal Dogs actually did a very good job with the resources they had left. But
absolutely. So I must have misread it, and I'm Donnie must have taken down Andy Bud. So I must have misread that. That allowed I'm Donnie to push down the center road and then take out the person in blue room, and then almost push on Cap, really. I mean, there was 2-on-2 and then 1-on-1. Trade, the last kill. Great attack, great defense. Gonna be an interesting series.
No doubt. I hope that's what we have in store for the rest of the match.
So interesting that VR Loyal Dogs banned Cargo, and then Team Newbies. I think, is Suburbia the next smallest map?
Sorry, say that again?
Is Suburbia the next smallest map behind Cargo? Toss up between that and Tanker, maybe? But Tanker has multiple levels, so the ground, you know, when you actually think of the square footage, is probably Suburbia, I guess?
Yeah, I think Suburbia would take the second place there.
Yeah, so
yes.
It's interesting that both teams have chosen to ban out the smallest maps.
Yeah, I wonder what the next pick will be then. I mean, if they're, you know, maybe the strategy is just to keep it elongated. I know a lot of teams are doing that right now because, you know, there's no smokes, there's no C4, so you can really put it on somebody by forcing them out in the open. Although, actually, I take that back because this time they allowed smokes to C4s, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the strategy is here.
I don't know either. I mean, smokes are out, like you said, so we did hear some flashes going off. Obviously, no C4s either in the current rule set. But they've agreed. Sorry, I take it back. They've agreed to use smokes and C4s, so that's excellent. And I rescind everything I said, and you may have just said that. Sorry, I was being distracted by real-life little people. So I have to ask you, Theta. Someone who... Theta. Having just seen one round, who's the series going to go to?
Well, that's a pretty small sample size, but I mean, sample size of 1. Let's just draw some generalizations out of that bad boy. But
especially when down to 1 versus 1 as well. So.
Yeah, I don't know. For the moment, I'm going to withhold any kind of prediction because I just don't.
Coward, Theta. Way to put all your money behind one of them. Red or black?
All right. I'll give it to the Loyal Dogs because I like the concept of underdogs, and they already have dogs.
Oh, I like where you're going with that. But I mean, newbies can pretty underdogs as well, as intended by the name. Anyway, we see a much more aggressive push-up by Andy Bud. He's charging in, but he slows right down as he approaches. And Gary picks up Oxers straight out the gate. 22 seconds in. 1 Loyal Dog already now. Cursed by your prediction, which I begged you not to do, Theta. Begged you not. So interesting, Mr. Body now taking position in Coyote, Andy Bud, and Mr. Shrimp taking key positions in the center of the market. Well, I say Shrimp. Mr. Shrimp not taking key position in Wake. Further back in Coyote, which is interesting considering Mr. Body's way ahead of him. So a bit of desync in between teams there. Meanwhile, we have Jason in the east area, pushing up quite aggressively. Let's cut to Andy Bud. Andy Bud's actually rounding in without the rest of his team already. Now this is very gutsy, but I would say that he's all alone here. I mean, he's got teammates near him, but no one who's going to support him, and no one who's going to be able to capitalize on any movement. Mr. Body team kills him.
That is unfortunate.
Wow, talk about team desync. Wonder if he even realized it was a team kill. I'm guessing at that range he has.
Yeah, no chance for a revive on that either.
Oh no.
That's never a good feeling.
Mr. Body, make sure that guy stayed down. Unfortunately, that guy was his teammate, but still.
Hey, you know what? He finished him like a true bro, so
Absolutely.
you can't really hold it against him.
No, and you know what? No pain there. You would have. There was no pain.
Yeah. Hey, you don't want him to suffer.
No.
Obviously.
So now Mr. Shrimp pushing up slowly to where his teammate died. Not scared that Mr. Body's going to team kill him, apparently. But Mr.
Yeah,
Shrimp
I think Jason and I'm Donnie here in the south are about to have a confrontation. Grenade just came out from Jason. Donnie dodged that, dodging Donnie. And now they are aware of each other, laser focused right near Donnie's position, but it looks like Donnie is actually going to tuck in rather than confront Jason.
Yeah, I'm Donnie's very tucked in, so he's felt the pressure. A grenade went off near him, bits of frag grenades spattered against his cheek, but he's absolutely fine. And then they left him with Shack Shot. Hi, I'm Gary, takes down Mr. Shrimp though.
Yeah, Mr. Body looking for that refrag around the corner, but comes a little too late.
Does Gary win? Oh wow, Gary picks up Mr. Body. Mr. Body, no chance there. Jason now picks up Donnie.
Wake
Meanwhile,
is
Wake and Hokine. Oh wow,
wow.
Hokine picks up Wake. Leaving it all down to Jason.
Really pays off in those situations. Because I thought for sure Wake was going to win that.
Right. Me too. I don't understand how he didn't, to be honest. I would have thought he would have been able to see the feet approaching, hear the push. It's all in Jason's hand now. Jason with 2 kills on the board so far. One this... Wait, is it one? Yeah, one on this round. He's got 3 more to go if he wants to go for the kill, or maybe he can kill Nimniad. Might be able to go for a cap. Mind you, Hikane's coming back around now, sees Jason. Shots come out, Jason picks up Hikane.
I have to step away from my desk for just a moment. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Theta, bye-bye. Nimnad misses Jason. Jason sees Nimnad. Shots come out. It's a trade, but with one more loyal dog left alive, the round goes to VR loyal dogs as the defensive rounds hold. 2 defensive rounds now in a row have continued to hold. But, it's early days. If that trend continues. So meanwhile, going through the kill list, we have Mr. Body on -1 kills. Oh, that's always a horrible place to be. He's probably got quite a few rounds to redeem that, but it's a real horrible place to find yourself with -1 on the board because it's a hard position to defend yourself, and it also psychologically can mess with you. I'm Gary there, picking up multiple kills, pivotal on that close defense of the objective. It's early days for everything else. Andy Budd could have made a real difference had he not been team killed by his teammate, Mr. Body. He was pushed up in the key area, near the objective, in the middle of the defense. C'est la vie. Jason actually has 4 kills, so I don't know where I got only 2 from, so... Oh wait, he killed 2 just then, so I was right, he did have 2 kills. Going up to 4 kills now, Jason, currently the MVP for Newbies. Currently, hi, I'm Gary, the MVP, VR Loyal Dogs. Both teams have been around for at least a season. Not the first season, it's been at least since season 9. Team Newbies, I've had the joy of scrimming a few times and facing them in a few tournaments. They are wonderful chaps. Very tactical, but by their own admission, they don't take the game too seriously. They play mostly just have a laugh with their friends. VR Loyal Dogs are a Spanish team, which is just great. As we go into round number 3. Kiot objective. Oof, the dreaded Kiot objectives, Team Newbies. This is the objective where caps happen. Now, it's been made, interestingly, in the latest update. Key change has happened. See, now before, on this building, you used to have 2 segments. It was basically 2 buildings. But now, we can see that they've been linked up upstairs, and this doorway that did not used to exist now exists. changes the defense of this objective quite drastically. So VR Loyal Dogs getting a southwestern spawn. 3 of them pushing on the west, 2 pushing in the absolute southeast. Very, very cautiously as they do so. Amgami and Nimiad. Western house area. Jason potentially in a position to engage. Gary and Jason squaring off. They don't see each other yet. It's only a matter of time before Gary sees Jason. Jason destroyed by Gary's bullets. 2 current MVPs engaging as the opening engagement in this round. Also giving away the position now. All of Team Newbies are currently looking in the western direction. Apart from Mr. Body, sole defender of the east. Clearly unaware there are 2 enemy teammates pushing up on the east area. But he's tucked in. He's in a safe position. Unfortunately, that safe position gives him very, very little visibility and allows Hakain to transition into the east completely unopposed and completely protected by a building. So that may come back to bite them in the butt.
Okay, so I'm back, and I know this is short notice, everybody, but I actually had a little bit of an emergency show up, and I'm going to have to step away for the rest of the cast.
That's unfortunate, Theta. It's been a pleasure having to do that with you. Good luck with whatever the issue is. Mr. Body now moves out into the open, and Oxes picks him up. Mr. Body should have stuck in his tight position. Fortunately, chose that.
Apologies,
exactly
everybody.
The wrong time to move.
I will see you on the next cast.
Indeed, Theta. Good luck with whatever it is, mate.
Thanks.
No. Well, it looks like it's just me and you now, people who are watching the cast. So, the Newbies now down to 3 defenders. As I'm Donnie pushes down the main street. Nimiad pushed up near the objective. Mr. Shrimp having a good reverse angle, which may pay off for Team Newbies. Antibud covering the east. Wake covering the north. The objective is open. Antibud picks up Hakain. Hakain gets picked up by Amdoni though. Shrimp picks up Nimiad. Wake picks up Amdoni. Oxus picks up Shrimp. Shrimp's Resible in the center. It's now 2 versus 1, but 2 teammates now for Newbies. Resible, but will Wake risk it? Wake picks up Andy, but Shrimp gets double tapped. Oxus sees the transition, unable to do anything, but we're in a 2 versus 2 situation, but the objective is wide open. If Gary had gone for it, he could have picked up a cap potentially. Wake now looking for Oxus. Gary shooting him in the back, leaving just Andy Bud alone in the north, and the objective is wide open. Andy Bud has no idea. He's looking for Oxus, has no idea that Gary is so close to the objective. This could be a very, very unfortunate mistake by Andy Bud. Andy Bud gets picked up by Oxus. Gary, a bit too slow on the objective, didn't even start doing it, but important for VR Loyal Dogs. They may not have got the cap. They got the round, though. Puts them now in the... gives them the defensive advantage. And they've broken the defense of Newbies, and they've taken that defense advantage away from them. Great attack from VR Loyal Dogs. Unfortunate defense by Newbies. They had the right positions, just chose the wrong times to look away and move away. Of course, Mr. Body's defense position allowed time to push up the east area completely unopposed and without any knowledge, which allowed him to transfer the position, the northeast area. I'm going to stop using key so often, because I've used it about 15,000 times already tonight. I apologize for that. Increase my grammar. But both teams, I mean, I said they're adequate teams. They're both very good teams. I believe they're both bronze teams at the moment. But you can see right now, there is coordination there, there is skill there. These are not rookies. These are guys who are up and coming, fine, but they are not rookies. They still have a lot to prove. But they're proving it right now. I think neither team are making ridiculous mistakes, and both teams are playing teamwork, coordination. Okay, Mr. Body did team kill his teammate, and is still on -1. And I'm Gary now with 7 kills, 3 rounds in. He's flying away. Absolutely pivotal for his team. And he managed to take that down, like I said, Jason, who was at the time Newbie's highest killer. We go into round 4. VR Loyal Dogs versus the Newbies. Map 1, Bazaar. will VR Loyal Dogs be able to hold the defense where Newbies were unable? I have no idea what they're saying, but they sound beautiful saying it. Aggressive defense here from VR Loyal Dogs. Nimiad taking center position. Gary, okay, well not that as aggressive as I thought it was gonna be, but Hakine in the north by himself. Gary taking a very, very cheeky little area. East side of the objective. Ox is in the west side, looking inward. They're all looking inward. Interestingly, other than Nimiad and Gary, who are looking south. Actually, no, Donnie is looking east, but again, really important to point out that his position has allowed 2 Newbies to transition into the east. Unopposed and without any intel that they're Andy Budd looking for any defense that might be in this decent area. So far, unable to spot Donnie, but Donnie equally unable to spot him. Meanwhile, Wake. Very risky position. With Nimiad and Gary looking sweeping vision over his area at times. He does have support. Jason, but Jason's very far back, and unless Jason's an established sniper, very hard found to pick up those kills. I'm Donnie now, taking up interesting defensive position up here on the stairs, eastern block. Give him some sight over the eastern area, but not the sight he needs, as Mr. Body and Mr. Shrimp have already passed on. He picks up Andy Bud though. Andy Bud's transition too slow in the open. Donnie getting a great position kill. I have to remember that one for myself. Return fire coming down from Jason far back. Suppression, suppression, suppression. But Wake also now putting some suppression. Grenades coming out, but Wake is transitioned out of there as he pushes around the west side. Meanwhile, Mr. Body and Mr. Shrimp, 2 misters of the team, continue to push north. Wake just walking out in the open. Picks up Hi, I'm Gary. Oxus is right behind him. Totally misses Wake. Now Wake is low and below his side, but Nimiad in the center picks him up. Gary is resable. Shrimp and Mr. Body now coming in. They find I'm Donnie. The objective is potentially open. Hakine might be able to stop this push from Mr. Shrimp and Mr. Body. Jason putting out suppression fire now in the middle of the bazaar. Preventing a res, Nimiad realizes his enemy's close by. What will Nimiad Jason? Sees Nimiad. Picks up Nimiad. Mr. Body taken down by Hakine. Mr. Shrimp taken down by Hakine. That key pivotal defense position. I just used the word key and pivotal. Gosh darn it. Leaving it all down to Jason now in the center of Bazaar. Hakine's defense stopping a potential cap. Let's push down fire on Oxus, but Oxus finds him. VR Loyal Dogs up to 3 points, with the Newbies now trailing with just 1 point. Their backs to the wall, but they do have the defensive advantage going into this 5th round. And I realize I have the points the wrong way around. I will immediately correct. Through the power of this amazing setup that no man amongst others has created. VR Loyal Dogs at the moment 3-1 up on the Newbies. Interestingly, the VR Loyal Dogs defense was, I would say, uncharacteristic of the kind of defense that I've seen them do before. I thought they were going to be a bit over-aggressive, but no, they had a good balance on the defense. Hakine's key position, I used the word key again, please stop me. In that north area, shutting down Mr. Shrimp and Mr. Body. Jason's push was gutsy through the center, managed to get a kill and cause a lot of disruption in that defense. But ultimately, that inverted defense that they had managed to shut down a lot of the push through the center area, and then Hakine's defense in the north, the angle he held, was able to pick up Mr. Body and Mr. Shrimp from what otherwise would have been a very hard cap push to stop. Going to round 5 now with Newbies 1 point away from losing map 1. It is the northwestern objective, the mini market objective. Always a fun objective to watch. There's always plenty of different attack angles you can take. Very, very different defensive styles you can take. Let's see what the Newbies have in store for us. And indeed, VR loyal dogs. Silence echoing Newbies team right now. Feel the pressure. VR loyal dogs pushing in the southwest and through the center of the market. For any newbies they can find, but newbies looking like the tucking in shrimp. Very, well, I wouldn't say an original place, but good place to defend from. Tight angle doesn't give him too much visibility, but it does give him plenty of ambush capability. Jason, again, in a good ambush area, but really he needs to have sight lines on Southwest Road as Oxes and Akine push up Mr. Body, cross angles on the center road, but again, limited visibility, but can give Jason some support. Andy Bud now. There's lines down the middle road, but this is what's really interesting, is that Oxes and Hakine, at the moment, face no opposition and will face no opposition. Potentially, I mean, Andy Buds took a similar defense position we saw in round 1, where it gave him sight lines of the road, and it's an ambush position where if Oxes / Hakine do not put down suppressive fire and take out Andy Bud or flash him or smoke him, he will wreak havoc on them as they pass his sight lines. Other than that, Jason is tucked in. Jason should have sight lines on this road, choosing to look the other way. Sorry for the jerky camera work, by the way. I will fix that. Sticky keys. Meanwhile, I'm Donnie. Cross angles on the eastern block, eastern central block, as I'm Gary and Nimiad push through the market area, checking all their angles, slowly going to find anyone. Jason find Hakine, as he does eventually check the southwest road. The down, not a kill. Perhaps it was the smoke that drew his attention. Oxes next to Andy Bud. Oxes will not be going back for a res. Or will he? There is a smoke out. He could potentially res his teammate. He walks out making a lot of noise. Andy Bud knows he's there. Oxes sees him through the wood though. Andy Bud is toast as Jason double taps Hakine for a side. Mr. Body now. Hearing Oxes, picks up Oxes. Oxes transfers through. 4 defenses. 4 defenders versus 3 attackers. Now Gary pushing up and over as Jason on defense finds I'm Donnie.
Not one down.
Transition through his building. Hear me out, finding Wake on the North Road. Now 3 versus 2 situation with hi, I'm Gary above Mr. Shrimp. Mr. Shrimp can hear him. No idea where he is, Mr. Shrimp. A little bit tucked in there. Probably not aware that he's so tucked in, and I suppose it depends on the angle he's still in. Gary throwing out a nade. Shrimp. Gary, less than a meter between them. Meanwhile, Nimiad. Hi, I'm Gary, not afraid to make some noise as he drops down. And gets picked up by Mr. Shrimp through the window, leaving just 1 attacker now. Nimiad transitions into the west area. They don't know he's there. He's still in a key position to attack. I use the word key again. God darn it. Drops his gun. 55 seconds left on the clock. Mr. Body is looking, searching for the final attacker. Nimiad, if he's careful, if he's clever, could take down Mr. Body and go for a cap. Please. 8 is away from seeing Nimiad. Nimiad, vice versa. Seconds away from seeing Mr. Body. Sees Jason, takes him down, Mr. Body. He is. Comes out, fires out. It's trade, but with one newbie left alive. The trade goes to the newbies, keeping them in this. It's now a 3-2 situation with the newbies in a position to potentially cap and take this entire map and the first map of the season. It's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. Not over yet. But good attacks there from VR Loyal Dogs, but Newbies' defense setup worked out in the end. They didn't have much visibility, but they had good ambush lines, and most importantly, as the kills started to happen, team reacted, repositioned accordingly to shut down blind spots that could have led to a cap. Panic? I don't see any mechanics. Anyway. So, going to round 6. A few moments. The newbies on 2 points as Marsok. And what that means is, as Marsok, if you wipe out the enemy team, you get 1 point. If you get a cap, i.e. you get your tablet out, you go to the objective, satellite, uplink. Manage to get the code in without getting killed, send the uplink. You get 2 points. What that means for Marsok then is that if you have 2 points, you can win the game outright. Get that uplink. Of course, when you got that tablet out, you're completely undefended. Therefore, very easy to kill. Risk reward, but that reward I have seen change fates many a time. Go into round 6. VR Loyal Dogs versus the Newbies. Map 1. Wow, my camera just went crazy! So I'll be very interested to see what VR Loyal Dogs are going to do in defense. Newbies discuss their opening play. The hopes reignited. Still quite silent as they charge in. Oh, similar heights. I'd say 5'10", 5'11". Again, a bit of miscommunication there. We've got Wake and Andy Bud both in the same window. But desynchronization as they put fire on the blue room but find nothing. Mr. Shrimp and Mr. Body, the two misters working together in close tandem tactics. Shrimp, a bit of a risky search down the eastern block.
We got a flanker, guys.
They think they have a flank. Hi, I'm Gary. Picks up Andy Bud. Neither of his teammates responding as the tap comes out. Andy Bud is out of this round. Mr. Shrimp finds Hikine. Trying to find where Gary finds Mr. Shrimp. Spinning around like a loon, trying to figure out where it's happening. Hi, I'm Gary finds Mr. Body and shuts down this entire attack. That's 3 kills to Hi, I'm Gary. That puts Hi, I'm Gary on 10 kills overall, which is just awesome. Wake, unable to find a refrag as I'm Donnie shuts down Jason, and this leaves just Wake now, as Jason is in a potential resable position.
I'm down by a red truck in the west.
Grenade comes, finishes him off though. A fantastic grade from I'm Donnie. I'm Donnie, 3rd kill on the board. Wake with 2 kills. And an entire 4 men left to kill. It can be done. He's got 3 minutes 20 on the clock. He's got to be tactical, he's got to be versatile, and he has to be mobile if he wants to pull this back for his team. He goes down. VR Loyal Dogs tape map 1. 3-map series. Slowly pushing up where one of his teammates died about a minute ago. Gives him some utility to use, but if he decides to oh gosh, he tries to raise his dead friend. Using to accept the reality of the situation. Donnie peeking out. Will he see Wake's head? Not sure if he's looking in this direction. Yes, his laser is flickering by. Will he see Wake? Doesn't see Wake. Maybe he does, it's very hard to tell, but I don't think he saw Wake, and Wake able to push up now into the mini-market area. I'm Donnie slowly transitions out. If he's able to get I'm Donnie and Nimniad has a potential for a cap, as Wake is seen by I'm Donnie, throws a smoke in, and I'm Donnie destroys Wake and takes Map 1 for VR Loyal Dogs as a celebratory C4 goes off, killing Nimiad and Donnie. What a great first map. Both teams playing fantastic there. The Newbies, unfortunately, a little bit of desynchronization costing them on their attacks. The defense is held most times, but VR Loyal Dogs showing their teeth, showing their breed, showing their pedigree. They take map 1 against the Newbies. Looks like map 2 is going to be Downfall. And I'm back. Apologies for that. Had some technical difficulties, but fortunately I'm back in before the map has started. As the Newbies seem to have picked Downfall as their home map. Now they are the away team, so they get the second map pick, and they've chosen Downfall. Choosing Downfall as Marsok is always a challenge because theoretically and in practice, the Bulk team have defensive position advantages because there's so many buildings they can take with tight angles. So it'll be interesting to see how the Newbies tend to crack VR Loyal Dogs' defensive setups. VR Loyal Dogs having the defensive advantage. One thing I love about Downfall above all the other maps is how open it is. Wide open spaced map. In fact, let's cut to the action camera. See, it's a very wide open space map. It's had a graphical upgrade recently. 1.8 arguably had a graphical downgrade. Now it's had a graphical upgrade on the piece. All lovely lighting. As you can see, a wide open space maps, rolling hills, plenty of buildings. All the buildings are enterable. Multiple windows to look out of. What this provides is a lot of defensive potential. For the attacking team, of course, you can also take those windows, take those doors, but the problem you have is that there are no or very few directions you can take truly offer defensive kind of capabilities. So what I mean to say is whenever you transition from building to building, you're doing it in the open pretty much. That was a loss of words there, which rarely happens. But anyway, the point is, as you can see, transitioning between lots of the buildings, you have to do in the open. There are some walls here and there and other buildings you can use to block sight lines, but there'll always be a time as you push to the objective where you will have to cross the open, which means that the defensive team always set up sight lines which cut all approaches to the objectives.
It looks like they're going to cross as well down to the left, down towards Marsoc.
The newbies getting a north spawn, looking for long-range picks as they do so. Giving away the spawn as they try and get some pickups. Ox is able to get into the middle hotel, which will be crucial for the defense. Akine in the south guard position in the top window, able to give long sight lines on the entire map. I'm Gary on the south side of the objective. Gonna have very limited versatility there, but could pay off as it gives him good defensive sight lines of the east area. Meanwhile, far away in the south, I'm Donnie, potentially running a flank. Ox is finding Andy Bud early on, a long-range shot. Andy Bud then picked up. Andy Bud being punished for being in the open. And this is what I'm talking about. As Marsoc, as the attackers, you have a heck of a challenge pushing forward. Wake taking a shield, I love it. I love seeing a shield being taken on downfall. I'll never agree to my teams doing it, and I hate my team doing it, but I love watching other teams do it, especially you can see Mr. Shrimp and Wake. So you got a three-man team here, which offers refrag potential and supporting fire, but unfortunately what it can mean is that if you get identified, one man can take out all three, and as Jason now taken out in the eastern area. Wake, Shrimp, and Mr. Body. In fact, when I saw Wake and Mr. Shrimp, I was like, I don't get it. Mr. Shrimp is not working with Mr. Body. But no, sure enough, they're working together as smoke comes out. Now, the danger of smoke here is that you've got three people sat on top of each other. A single grenade could take all three of them out. And it's a traveling smoke. Ox is now, he's going to key position to kill them all. Takes down Mr. Body. Doesn't realize there's Mr. Shrimp there as well, but smoke drawing attention where it really didn't need to be drawn at that time. Now just two attackers left against a full five-man VR Loyal Dog team.
In your house right here.
As all eyes are going to be drawn here. This slow approach, I've got nothing against slow approaches, but three men were stacked up directly on top of each other. Meant that they are all now. No one's in a position to give them supporting fire from a flank. No one's here to take that attention away from these two guys. Mr. Shrimp able to take down Oxes though, as the attention was given to Wake.
Good.
Okay, go.
He's a potential hole, but Nimiad will he be able to round the corner, get eyes on Shrimp's legs, potentially sees Wake. Will he put down some fire just to remind him he's there?
By the bonfire house at the back end.
Okay.
Just move.
I'm Donnie, has long sight lines, could catch Wake and Shrimp as they transition on this corner of this wall, but it'd have to be one heck of a shot, but they are transitioning slowly. Akine also in a position to punish Wake and Shrimp from his window. One minute 20 left on the clock. Akine and I'm Donnie putting shots on Gary, getting a flank on Wake, killing Wake, but they don't. Do they realize Shrimp is here? Don't think they do. Now they're looking for the final man, unaware that Shrimp, the little Shrimp, was with Buddy. Chuck another Shrimp on that objective with 55 seconds left to glow. got a heck of a lot of cover at this rate. Also, he's alone. That smoke goes out. He's going to give himself away. Don't know what it is with the newbies using smokes to draw attention to themselves, but this is exactly the thing Shrimp shouldn't have been doing right now. Gives him some cover, but also draws attention as the fire comes out. Gary's going to have sight lines in any second. The firing into the smoke. Mr. Shrimp picks up Gary, so actually maybe I was wrong. That smoke drawing the attention directly away, but another smoke comes out. Nimiad is point blank range. Shrimp has no idea as Nimiad takes him down as Akain also came in to close down the objective, and I love seeing that from VR Loyal Dogs. That crush down on the objective to make sure that the objective was not taken. Great play for VR Loyal Dogs there. Interesting play by Newbies, but VR Loyal Dogs defense holding quite convincingly at that. I really liked seeing Newbies attack though. They had two split off. Unfortunately, both those teammates had split off from the main body, got wiped out early. They really need to stay alive to provide that deterrent and also trying to draw the attention away from the main body to push. It's really interesting to see two people hugging a shield so closely. I've never seen that before, I don't think. One person trying to guard two friendlies. Well, that did mean, of course, was when Mr. Body went down, they didn't assume Mr. Shrimp was with him. That did pay off. Shrimp was able to get 2 kills. Of course, they kept drawing attention to themselves with those smokes. Now, in one case with Mr. Shrimp, it actually worked out alright because they were shooting into the smoke, not realizing that Mr. Shrimp had already pressed past the smoke. Of course, for the early transgression of launching a smoke into Mr. Body, Mr. Shrimp, Mr. Body and Mr. Shrimp both got seen. Body paid the ultimate price. We go into round number 2, map 2 with VR Loyal Dogs having taken a map already. Let's see. Oh, looks like the countdown was cancelled. Spawn point, so important on this map. VR Loyal Dogs arguably getting a better spawn for this objective. I can say again, say arguably, because all of the spawns from Marsoc, different strengths and weaknesses. Now, what VR Loyal Dogs can do, beautiful, beautiful Spanish voices of this, is they can rush up to this hill line, potentially get fire on any newbies who are cheeky enough to transition out in the open, but they're a bit slow getting into position, and newbies have tucked in. Lasers looking all over the place. It's really nice to see anybody and Mr. Shrimp have taken the center of tower, which gives them a strong defensive fortress in the center of the map. The key thing for them is to not draw too much attention to themselves and get picked off at range. As the lasers come back, see, I believe, I'm Donnie in the hills, in the South Hills, putting shots on Andy Bud. Andy Bud calling out his position. Andy Bud now is in a unfortunate position where he's been called out, and there's at least 3 enemies who are shining lasers in his rough direction. Unfazed as he looks, turns fire. Oh no, that's Jason returning fire.
There's one in Marsoc.
Calls coming out. The key thing with the defense, I keep using the word key. The major thing about the Newbies' defense is it's very outward looking. It's not very ambush style. So they're looking to shut down VR Loyal Dog's approach before they get anywhere near the objective, and that's quite risky because they're getting so drawn into this firefight with I'm Donnie and Hi I'm Gary that meanwhile in the north we have Hakain and Oxers, both pushing unopposed and without any intel that they're actually there doing this job. In fact, it seems that other than Mr. Shrimp, who may be looking elsewhere, I'm not sure what we're transitioning out of the Center Hotel now. So that without exception, all of the Newbies' defense is focused in the southeast area. No one is checking the 6 o'clock, where meanwhile, Kine and Oxus still continue to be a threat, an unknown threat at that. Shots coming out from Gary, just drawing that attention ever more. Jason puts some shots on the window, but Gary just tucks in, and I'm loving this VR Loyal Dog play, drawing the attention continually away from the flank move. Meanwhile, Nimiad and I'm Donnie transitioning in the south, as all the lasers are being focused at Hyam Gary, and no one seems to be paying any attention to both flank attacks that seem to be occurring from either side. Oxus and Hakine pushed up quite successfully now in the north. Now pushing to center. Oxus found. As vision switches, Hakine chooses to bypass mid-hotel. No, he goes in. Gary sees him going in. Hakine on the bottom floor has Antibud called out. Antibud calls out that he hears footsteps nearby. Hakine looking for a pick that he's not going to find, as Mr. Body finds I'm Donnie in the south. The Nimiads transition into South Guard, and from here, he may be able to take down Wake if Wake pushes out Jason, putting fire still on Hyam Gary. 1 minute 20 left on the clock. 3 VR Loyal Dogs alive. 5 Newbies with a tight defense now as the sights go a bit more inward and they look for stop looking for those longer kills. Miad inside looking, making noise, looking for any kill he can. Hakine chooses not to clear out mid-hotel as Antibud looking internally, waiting for Hakine to attack, not realizing that Hakine has already moved out. Hakine now on the objective, wide open in the objective as I'm Gary and Nimiad push in. Nimiad could actually draw attention to the objective though, which would be working against them. The objective is wide open. It's 5 Newbies. And at the last moment, Wake comes out and Newbies win. That was so close to being a cap there. I thought that VR Loyal Dogs had it, but Newbies, with all 5 of them up, choose to check the objective at exactly the right time. Well, I really thought VR Loyal Dogs had that one. But I'm kind of glad they didn't, because I didn't want to see, you know, I always root for the underdog, and I always like it going into map 3 with map 3 mattering for the entire match. Now, map 3 always matters. Obviously, it matters more when it's one map apiece, and it's the deciding map for the series. Newbies' defense there, I was for sure certain that they were not going to check their flank, and the suppression from VR Loyal Dogs led up a little bit, maybe allowed the Newbies to refocus their attentions elsewhere. Maybe it was just the Newbies just had that sixth sense to check, because I wasn't seeing any lasers and I wasn't seeing anyone actually look north and approach. Perhaps VR Loyal Dogs needed to be a bit faster with their flanking, and actually capitalized on the suppression they were giving and on the attention that was drawn elsewhere. But either way, Hakine almost getting that cap in. Newbies defense holding ever presently, as we can see, as they had 5 players still alive at the end. So VR Loyal Dogs able to put suppression, able to make great ground on the objective, but not able to find any picks. Ultimately, perhaps that cost them, but the defender that made the most difference in that situation was the one that stopped the cap, and he was on top of the objective, and it was very unlikely he was ever going to get killed. He was tucked in, he wasn't peeking, and he was the guy he needed to be to make sure cap didn't happen. As we go into round 3, map 2, the Newbies versus VR Loyal Dogs. Market objective. The Newbies getting, I'd say, quite a good spawn for this, as they spawn in the south. That does mean they have lots of buildings to transition through and use as cover as they push towards the objective. Free fire coming out from VR Loyal Dogs to cover the position making. They push people into North Guard and aggressively into other areas. Mr. Body and Mr. Shrimp picking up a position. They see Oxers making it to the helicopter. Now what this means, unfortunately for them, for the Newbies, is they've given away their spawn, and now they have multiple Loyal Dogs looking for. It does mean two of the teammates, Andy, Bud, and Jason, are able to transition into the east unopposed with, again, most of the sight lines focusing south, completely ignoring sneak attack on the flank. Shrimp and Mr. Body. I love these two guys are always next to each other. It doesn't matter how big or how small the map seems to be. Mr. Shrimp and Mr. Body. Friends for life, as Ox is now looking for a pickup, not realizing how close he is to Mr. Shrimp and Mr. Body.
So on a helicopter waiting.
Angle. Looking for anyone in the south. Seeing anyone as he retreats further inside mid-hotel. Wake. White House. Any movement on mid-hotel, as most of his attention from the south seems to be centered on Ox's. They initially thought someone was at the helicopter, which was Ox's. Ox's managed to transition to mid-hotel, and that's really going to put a spanner in the works for Newbies as they look for that guy at helicopter. They're going to be looking for that pick at helicopter that isn't going to be coming, and of course that means their attention is going to be split in places it doesn't need to be split, as we can also see Andy Bud looking for someone in mid-hotel. He may have just seen Ox's. Doesn't radio out. Wake transitions down the hill away from a position where he potentially could have picked up Ox. Jason now in North Hotel. You can see on the map that the VR loyal dogs are looking all over the place now. They have no idea where the attack's coming from, and that actually work in their advantage because they're not focused in just one direction, as Ox is now surrounded. Actually, no, Wake isn't quite there yet, but he's got two Marsocs in the building with him. The body slowly transitions up. Find Oxes. That gives mid-hotel, which is so important on this map, to Team Marsoc, to the Newbies. The fortress that can be the mid-hotel falls. Jason now looking for a pick anywhere, but the rest of VR loyal dogs tucked in. They've got a guy in the north with sight lines on the objective. They've got Hi, I'm Gary in the, well, underneath. So an objective cap is going to be very unlikely here unless Hi, I'm Gary or Kine falls. Nimiad finding Wake up on the hill. What a shot. It was a single shot. I need to see what gun he is using because unless he was the burst, Hakine finds Andy Bud. G3. Oh, it is a G3 with a scope on it. Now, oh, VR loyal dogs have lost two. The Newbies have lost two. That's three apiece. As Jason, unopposed, in the north. With a minute 20 on the clock, though, he has to push in. As this attack's completely out of sync, Mr. Body pushed into a position. He's taking fire, but he's near the objective. He's been made as Nimiad, now rushes out. Nope, he rushes underneath. But he thought Nimiad was going to be going for the kill then. Nimiad looking for Mr. Body. Where is he? Where is he? Is he gone for a cap? Now the objective is potentially wide open. If Mr. Shrimp can pick up I'm Donnie, still lasering in on that angle with 55 seconds left on the clock. Nimiad sprinting around like a crazy man, trying to find where's Mr. Body gone. He's going to run around on him. Mr. Shrimp, though, on his 6. Takes him down. I'm Donnie. Trying to pick up Mr. Body. Shrimp putting suppression fire. I'm on Donnie. Jason taking Hakine left with just I'm Donnie left on the cap. Mr. Body now inputting the cap. And absolutely, I'm Donnie is completely out of position as he let Mr. Body get in. And it's a cap for Newbies, putting 3-1 up. What a fantastic attack by the Newbies there. What an absolutely brilliant attack. I mean, initially the timing seemed out with Jason, but Jason came in at the right time. They slowed down, Newbies slowed down their attack on the objective as they pushed in, looking for those picks, looking to make a hole. They made a hole. The suppression was there from Mr. Shrimp on the window, and I'm Donnie, which allowed, I mean, he flinched from that suppression, and Mr. Body was able to slip in and get the cap. I think I'm Donnie realized what was happening, but realized too late and was too out of position to do anything about it. What a fantastic cap from the Newbies. VR loyal dogs now on 1 point. And without the defensive advantage. So not only did they lose the defensive advantage, which they did hold, now they're on attack with Newbies on 3 points, needing only 1 more point to clinch the map. And they have the defensive advantage on exactly the same objective, which I'd say is a relatively, well, I wouldn't say easy objective to hold, but certainly not one of the harder objectives in Onward to hold. I'd say, you know, this is probably a mid-level objective to hold. Definitely not one that's famously capped often, in my opinion. But I could be wrong and off it out. Especially if you ask my wife. What can VR loyal dogs bring to the table to stop this going to the third map? Can they bring this back with backs against the wall for map 2? They're on attack against the Newbies who've just proven their mettle. Bear in mind, the Newbies opening defensive round, they didn't lose a single defender and shut down all of VR loyal dogs' approach. Where we just saw Newbies with 3 guys up, 3 versus 1, and they got a cap. So Newbies showing that they played a lot of downfall, and it's a map they prefer. There was obviously third choice as well. As we go into round 3. Round 4, sorry. VR Loyal Dogs versus the Newbies on map 2 Downfall, with VR Loyal Dogs with a map in the bag already. Having one bazaar.
Misunderstood where we were at the beginning of last round.
Yeah.
Body, risky push up. Andy Budd managing to dodge the bullets as he takes North Guard. VR Loyal Dogs not taking the maximum potential of that spawn. Didn't get any pre-fire, and Andy Budd had the potential to cut him down as he ran to North Guard. They've given away the spawn now, so we can see all the lasers from Volk looking out for those picks as Hakine and Oxes take North Hotel. I'm Donnie on the ridgeline looking for a pick. Nimiad looking for a sideways window, looking anywhere in Middle Hotel, which is completely unoccupied by the Newbies as they have Shrimp in the helicopter. Mr. Body in, I call West Road? Mr. Body finds Oxes as Oxes transitions out of North Hotel. Hakine unable to find any kind of refrag. Andy Budd in the window, openly in the window, so very risky position. But could get punished by I'm Donnie, but I'm Donnie not looking for him right now. He does have a 2 times or a 4 times scope. Nimiad putting out some suppression fire. I don't think any general direction. Andy Pucks picks up I'm Gary now as I'm Gary runs out in the open. Again, Andy Budd picking up another kill. In what I would call a very risky defensive position, but no one shut him down. Nimiad then cut down in the open from Mr. Shrimp, who was in the helicopter. You're only a minute and a half into this round, and already VR Loyal Dogs down to 2 attackers. As Hakine now tries to transition in the open. It's already been punished, and Mr. Body in a key position there cuts down Hakine, leaving just I'm Donnie left on attack. 3 minutes 20. He's got time to play with, but he's against 5 of the Newbies, and he has no idea where any of them are, and also not in a great position. He's basically may as well have just spawned to the map because he's not in a key attacker position at all. And I use the word key, but I'm using it less if you've noticed, as I'm Donnie, sole survivor on VR Loyal Dogs. His work cut out for him. I don't even have any words for him right now. You can just feel the desperation in him. He's like, what do I do? Where do I go? I've checked my tablet. Still magically, none of my teammates have come back to life. So he's making the right call, though. His approach is taking him away from the danger zone where all of his teammates died. However, see on the map, Newbies are swiveling, trying to find that final attacker. They should have a good kill count, an accurate kill count on VR Loyal Dogs, as most of the Loyal Dogs died in the open. Oop, sorry for the boost turbo then. I hope I didn't make anyone too sick. I'm Donnie now. Possibly just been seen on his transition as a laser looked like it flicked over his head. 2 minutes left on the clock. He's going to have to make something work for him because he's nowhere near the objective, and arguably he's moving away from it. He's searching for him. I'm Donnie. Can you see? Got a 4 times scope, so he has the potential to get some long-range picks off. Maybe he can punch a hole in their defense, but with only a minute 30 left on the clock, he's feeling that pressure. You can hear it in his breathing. He's an enemy in the open. Takes some shots. Doesn't connect. It also gives away his position.
Me cago en todo.
I don't know what he just said, but I bet it was, oh no, I just pooped the bed. Donnie now with a minute 10 left on the clock. and nowhere near the objective, and no kills on the board. He's looking for a retransition from Jason, who took the shots, but managed to dodge them Matrix style. Jason's now pushing on his position with 55 seconds left on the clock. Mr. Shrimp looking in this position. Mr. Body looking in this position. Everyone looking in this position. Mr. Shrimp makes I'm Donnie. I'm Donnie's behind a wall with 48 seconds left on the clock. Jason has sightlines on him, and it's about to close out the map, and picks up I'm Donnie as the Newbies defense holds without a single loss. A flawless victory once again, as they take map 2, 4-1 against VR Loyal Dog, which means, ladies and gentlemen, we go into map 3 with it all on the line. That's the best situation I can think of. Great plays from both teams, but Newbies bringing it back, having seen VR Loyal Dog showing themselves to be the stronger team on Bazaar, but Newbies making no mistake there, throwing the glove right back in VR Loyal Dog's face and saying, nope, we're still in this, and yes, we are still to be feared. Map 3 takes us deeper underground with Subway. How exciting. Again, a very different map, once again, from the first two. Bazaar, a mixture of CQB and long distance. Downfall, which is the long distance map with very little cover but lots of buildings to hide in. Subway has no buildings, or arguably it's just one giant building underground. Which does have some long sightlines, but it's definitely classed more of a CQB map given its corridors. There is a giant open area in the middle area, but middle area being the actual train station. But arguably, this is more about checking your corners, much more of a CQB map that can favor map shield users. We saw that the Newbies have the potential to take. So judging from Downfall, obviously I would say that if this was Quarantine, that I would probably give it to the Newbies and say they'd have the advantage given how they performed on Downfall. But given how VR Loyal Dogs performed on Bazaar, I feel like they might hold an advantage, at least in their game style, on Subway. That's not to say that Newbies don't have a chance or anything like that. I'm just going from my gut feeling, which tells me that VR Loyal Dogs' game style and the way they play suits a map like this more than maybe the Newbies. I could be completely wrong and I have very little information to go off. But I can't wait to find out. And the first objective is a hell of a one to... I mean, I usually saying Volk have an advantage is a given thing, but on this objective, you'll see in a moment, a transition in preparation for round 1 and map 3 with it all on the line. This objective in the north is by far one of the hardest objectives to hold in all of Onward, and arguably the most difficult objective to hold, especially now that Kiot objective on Bazaar, which we did see earlier, has that new doorway which opens up the defensive transitions upstairs. I would say this objective now is the hardest one to hold, the hardest one to stop a cap. What a lot of teams do, they'll put a shield guy in this corner, or maybe some smokes, or suppression. There's not a defender willing to run round and die for the defense. Cap from this corner happens time and time again. This little corner here, where dreams have been made and ended. Let's find out what it has to be tonight. Is it going to make some dreams, or is it going to break some dreams? We go into round 1, map 3, VR Loyal Dogs versus the Newbies. Take it away, Radarhead. Thanks, Radarhead. I'm so lonely, and I'm so tired of hearing my own voice.
I'm a bit unsure what to do with the C4 if we're being streamed.
Oh yeah, of course, they've still got C4, so I was going to say, not having C4 is a giant difference on this, but they've allowed C4 and smoke use, so find out what they're going to do with it.
I don't know.
Again, this objective has... The usual attack on this objective is for the attacking team, Marsok, to put quite an aggressive push on these north stairs, because you can get suppression down these stairs and get a good push down. Just hold the enemy team back as you push down the stairs. Now, C4 can catch attackers unexpected, and also having people down at the back here, because they can put suppression fire up the stairs. But they don't. The newbies don't seem to be challenging at all, as only 2 the loyal dogs transition that direction. Meanwhile, Oxes and Hakeim taking the basement route. I'm Donnie covering the 6 for a flank in the south. Andy Budd and his teammate Wake and his teammate Shrimp all holding the southern areas. Displaced coverage from south and north, east and west sight lines, and Mr. Shrimp added in there for good coverage as well. So actually that works out. So it's 2 for 2, 3 for 3. So we've got 3 defenders in the south against 3 attackers in the south. 2 defenders in the north against 2 defenders in the east. But what's really interesting to note, and what's a really, really important bit of information, is that given the newbies' defensive lineup here, the defensive setup, Mr. Shrimp, Wake, and Andy Bud are not in a position where they could charge back to the objective to stop a cap if Mr. Body and Jason go down. Initial frag comes out, so now the newbies know attacks coming, but they have a C4 cleverly placed behind a bin. If they can get the timing right, information right, they might be able to get Gary and Nimiad. They are both tight formation with Nimiad rocking the shield, which will do nothing to defend against that C4 explosive. Shots coming out, they don't pick up Gary. Gary's still alive, able to heal himself. Jason now may be doing the wrong thing. Jason potentially should have let them push up further, because now they're falling back away from the C4, which would have caught them both. It's still there. Jason now putting up fire on Nimiad. Nimiad not too bothered as a flash goes up, but it's never going to... It will only serve in flashing Gary. Nope, Gary didn't get flashed. I don't think anyone got flashed by that. Meanwhile, Hakeim and Oxes pushing through the southern area think they are underground. They're going to run into Mr. Shrimp, Wake, and Andy at some point. C4 goes off prematurely. I'm Gary, taken down by Jason. Takes down Jason. And this is the position I was talking about. Now there's just one defender. He's got no C4. Gary takes him down. A grenade comes out, takes out Nimiad, who is resible. Wake is carried out. Now Gary is doing the objective. The objective is wide open, and the newbies have no idea. Andy Bud's making a transition. He gets taken down. The objective is still wide open, and Mr. Shrimp is too slow to come back in. Now, if they know not to kill him, Mr. Shrimp kicks up Oxes as the objective slowly goes in. Mr. Shrimp is told the cap is coming, but it's almost like I could see what was going to happen in the future. They didn't kill that final defender. They allowed them defense to the defenders to transition back, allowing that cap potential. And basically what it meant was that the VR Loyal Dogs now have gone up 2 points. And again, as I said, the newbies didn't have anyone in a position that could transition back to defend that objective if those 2 key defenders went down. And what was really important was that C4 could have changed everything, but went off prematurely. So really unfortunate for the newbies there, but great attack from VR Loyal Dogs. That attack from the north, taking the objective, but let's not count out the teammates who caused noise in the south, drew attention in the south, and stopped early transitions back, and also put pressure on the southern defenders, stopping a quick transition from them back to the objective, stopping them from stopping that cap. Now the newbies 0-2 down, having lost the defense advantage. Now again, this objective isn't really an advantage, and potentially the newbies could return the cap favor, or at least get a point back on the board. If I had to trend it, I'd say between equal teams, this objective falls for the defenders, gives Marsoc points more often than not. And I don't mean it's a cap more often than not, but I would say that this objective equals Marsoc getting points more often than Quell getting points. Round 2, map 3, with VR Loyal Dogs have just taken an uplink against the newbies. Will the newbies be able to return the favor, or at least wipe out VR Loyal Dogs and get a point on the board? Or will VR Loyal Dogs defense hold? put them ever closer to taking the entire series, having lost map 2, the Newbies. Nimiad running out into the northern area, placing a C4 against quite a defensive C4, potentially too close to the objective. Note the green light is on, and the green light means explode. Nimiad in his back is safe, his front potentially safe. He's very easily flashable in his position. Hi, I'm Gary in the classic position where we saw, I believe, Andy Budd last round. Again, a pivotal defensive positions. And we're seeing that the Newbies are taking a much more aggressive northern push. Got one held back covering the 6 from a flank. But other than that, they're opting to send no one south. No one into the rest of the map, and they're putting all their eggs in this one basket, the north push basket, which, given the defensive makeup of VR Loyal Dogs, might be the right move, because again, VR Loyal Dogs have done the same, pretty much the same situation as the Newbies. In fact, one of VR Loyal Dogs is so far out of position that there is almost nothing he'll be able to do from all the way over there, as Wake and Mr. Body begin the push towards the stairs. Andy Budd and Mr. Shrimp holding back just in case the Body and Wake find a C4 or a grenade from the defenders. Now, I liked their initial push, but now that I see that they are pushing all together so closely, I don't like it. They're all doing this stack-up thing. A single grenade would wipe all 4 of these guys out. A single C4 would, well, definitely do the same thing. It's a very, very risky play, and not one I would like to do myself. It's fun to watch, and it looks cinematic having these guys stacked up so close to each other, but play this game enough, or at all, you'll know that one grenade, I'm not saying these guys don't play, I'm just saying one grenade will wreck all of days. Now, we can see that actually, Andy Budd and Mr. Body have taken positions at the top of the stairs, and are a relative safe distance away from Mr. Shrimp and Wake as they push down the stairs, and that gives them the opportunity to put suppression and refrag. And I don't think I noticed, oh, and they take down the C4. That's going to be real important for the Newbies as they push down. Nimiad putting shots around the corner. I'm Gary putting shots around the corner. Hakine repositioning now. I'm Donnie, who was all the way in the south, now pushing down. Hakine kills Nimiad. I have no idea what just happened then.
We're still up, we're still up. Go, 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 go.
Grenade comes out, doesn't find anyone. Hakine! I have no idea what just happened, but Mr. Shrimp finds Hi, I'm Gary, and the objective is now open. Hakine doesn't realize that the objective is open now. If the Newbies were able to push up to that corner, they get a cap. Hakine realizing now the objective is open. I'm Donnie pushing back in. Still one defender out of position. That shotgun, having just killed a teammate, will it hold back the attackers? Mr. Shrimp and Wake push up, and the other 3 Newbies at the top of the stairs arguably should be pushing in. A friendly grenade comes in on Mr. Shrimp and Wake, killing them both. A second grenade comes out. Gonna pick up Shrimp. Gonna confirm Shrimp and Wake. Donnie a flash. Mr. Body, Mr. Donnie. Hakine finds Mr. Body. Andy Budd and Jason. Jason going for the cap. Over rezzing a teammate after that devastating grenade to his team. Ox is now rounding. Will Jason be able to get the cap in? Ox is slowing down on the corner at the wrong time, and the uplink goes in, bringing it to 2-2. The Newbies attack so successful to begin with, but then that team kill, that grenade landing behind the teammates, almost ruining the entire attack, which until that point was going by like clockwork. But still, Jason able to get that uplink, choosing to send the uplink over rezzing a teammate. Maybe the right move, maybe the wrong move. In the end, he got the uplink as Ox slowed down at exactly the wrong time, and that's where you see the difference between a top-tier team, where they would have just charged in, like an appreciation for the cap potential on an objective like that. You see top tier teams will just charge around that corner. They will maybe throw a flash or a grenade ahead of them, but they don't stop. They will be round that corner, guaranteeing that a cap can't happen. If they die, they lose a point. If you let a cap happen, that's 2 points. And what we saw happen there was Oxus slow down on the corner to try and do a safe corner on the enemy, and what that did was it gave that second to Jason to cap. And now it is all to be played for. And it's exactly what I wanted to see happen. I wanted to see the scoreboard level. 2-2. It's anyone's to take, as both teams now have capped that opening objective on Subway. Newbies now with the defensive advantage, as they go into a arguably easier to defend objective. Round 3, map 3, VR Loyal Dogs versus the Newbies. 2 points apiece, 1 map apiece. VR Loyal Dogs, if they get an uplink now, will take the map away. If they get a point, it'll put them a step closer. If Newbies are able to hold, it'll put them a step closer. But VR Loyal Dogs could take it all away in this round if they're able to get an uplink. So we have Andy Bud defending the up and over. We have Wake in the north, setting up an ambush position. Mr. Body protecting the basement entrance towards the objective Coke machine. We have Jason in the south. He's gone upstairs aggressive in the south to cover that entire road. He may be able to catch Nimiad and I'm Gary as they do push into the up and over, which is defended by Andy Bud. Flank could come in and ruin the day as one VR Loyal Dog pushes into the north. Andy Bud sees I'm Gary and Nimiad, but a shield stops his bullets. Preps a flash, but Jason now I thought would be rushing in as the call out. Come in, Jason is actually pushing in on them. It's going to ruin the day unless they hear him coming. Flashes and grenades going out. Andy Bud just holding the line. Has to buy time for Jason to come in and behind. He goes in himself, taking out I'm Gary, leaving just the shield user. Nimiad now alone. As he gets sandwiched, Jason's on the wrong side, unfortunately. Slowly pushing in. Andy Bud pushes in, takes down Mr. Shrimp. But that could mean that Jason might get a team kill. I don't think appreciates that Andy Bud has already done all the work. As Oxus now. So, I didn't realize that the Newbies lost a teammate while all of that was going on, I believe. Oh no, and that team kill that I said might happen exactly... Oh my gosh, I need to stop saying this stuff out loud. Jason not appreciating that Andy Bud had cleared up the up and over. Jason then comes in and kills Andy Bud, and I do believe it was Jason's grenade that downed everyone earlier. Jason team killing a little bit too much in the third round. He charges away from the objective. The objective is wide open. Or is it? I'm Donnie. Takes down Oxus as Oxus charges the objective. I'm looking for any defenders. There's 2 defenders alive. But I can't find them. Where are they? Jason in the north. They don't... VR Loyal Dogs with 2 players left don't appreciate that the objective is wide open. And I can't see the other defender, so maybe he's dropped. At the moment, I only see one defender in the form of Jason, who is rushing in now in the north, having taken a long route to get there, but he might catch I'm Donnie and Hakai unawares. They do not expect him to be behind. Great push from VR Loyal Dogs. The objective was wide open. Jason sees I'm Donnie. Hakai doesn't hear it. He goes in for the cap, and Jason is not looking at the objective. Hakai could shut all this down right now. Jason doesn't see Hakai. Jason gets his tablet out. He doesn't realize the objective is wide open, and this could be game over. And it's game over! Jason sees Hakai too late, and the cap happens. Hakai takes it for VR Loyal Dogs in a massive upset. 3 caps in a row to take VR Loyal Dogs to the series, ending with them taking 2 maps out of 3. And I really thought that Jason's flank was going to work then and he was going to redeem himself, but unfortunately he's too slow on that transition to the objective, not realizing Mr. Body had dropped, I believe. Oh no, he dropped Mr. Body, but yeah. Wow. Unexpected ending to that. I really thought that Jason's transition was going to work and then he was going to find both of them, but he slows down, checks his tablet at exactly the wrong moment. He had clear sight lines on the objective, but again, that appreciation of an open cap, it's what differentiates oftentimes. It's not the gunplay, it's not the teamwork, it's simple things like appreciation for open caps and just the enormity of that situation and the appreciation that you have to just charge at the cap and shut it down, either get killed or stop the guy from capping. Now in Jason's case, that's exactly what would have happened. If he charged in, the attacker had his back, Hakine had his back to Jason, so it was an open kill, and Jason just slow on the uptake there. Had he had another 5 seconds, I have no doubt he would have shut it down, but in the end, VR Loyal Dogs take the series, having taken the third map. It could have gone either way. Newbies with a cap, VR Loyal Dogs with a cap, but then VR Loyal Dogs for a second cap, taking the series, and man, what a great series it was. And that map was over way quicker than I ever would have expected. I wouldn't have expected 3 caps in a row, but man, what a match. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Thank you, VR Loyal Dogs, for giving us such an entertaining match. Thank you, Newbies, for giving us such an entertaining match. And thank you all very much for watching. Theta, I wish you'd been able to watch it all through with me and given your expert opinion as we went through, and have saved my voice and the droning that I found myself doing. Anyway, on that note, got more games to come, hopefully tonight, more games over the weekend, more excellent games. We've got Saturday and Sundays brimming with excellent matches to watch. Stay tuned, tune in. VRML is back on, the league is back on, baby. Second week. Fine we don't have smokes, fine we don't have C4, unless you agree to it like these brilliant guys did. What a match. Take it easy, guys and girls. Peace out.